All right, welcome back, everybody. Today, I thought I would talk a little bit about this tool called TMUX, and it's going to be super simple and hopefully really, really fast. And what TMUX is going to allow us to do is start a interactive session. So with something like the cluster, I'll use the cluster today, and then we'll be able to close that session, but everything that we're running will stay alive in the background. So it's super, super helpful. Let's go ahead and jump into a terminal here. I'm just going to log into our cluster because that's what I have. Let's go ahead and clear this. We'll SSH into a different node, a different head node here. All right, so TMUX, if we do something like TMUX ls, if I can make this a little bit bigger, there we go. TMUX ls, it's going to show all the different sessions that we have running with TMUX. And right now there's nothing running, so we're going to get an error, right? If we do TMUX new -s, so we can create a new session, and then let's call this test session. Wonderful. And you can see right there, now we have the green bar across the bottom, and we have this session running on our head node. Let's go ahead and exit that. And then if we do TMUX ls, we can see that we have nothing running. Let's go ahead and we'll run this code up here in the top top left-hand corner. We're going to allocate 2 cores and then some memory. We'll just do it on a partition of red, which is our head, the big cluster, and then job, we'll call it the test job. Okay. There we go, and then we can jump into this with srun bash. And it should dump us onto a new node. So, okay, we're on a node 14. If we do ls, we can see all the stuff that I have in my home. Let's go ahead and close this now with the sq 71592, it's my user. Okay, so I have 2 jobs going right now. We're on node 14, right? So we're on A14. So we have 2 jobs running. Let me go ahead and close this as an example. Yep, we're going to terminate. We're on our node, we're running our job. We closed our terminal. So what this normally is going to do, it's going to kill our job. So let's go ahead and jump back in. Log back into the cluster. Go to the same node. So if you run TMUX on, if you have multiple head nodes, for example, and you run TMUX on one of them, the session isn't necessarily going to show up on the other ones. So I have to go back to red 1, and then we can do SQ. It really shouldn't matter at this point in time. Type in my username again. We can see that had died there. Let's go ahead and start this again. So we're going to allocate. Actually, we're going to do TMUX. We're going to start that new session, new -s test session. All right. And then we can go ahead and type in our srun bash. So then instead of our TMUX, now it has dumped us onto that node. We can see the green bar. So we're running in our test session, and we're on A14. So if we do SQ -u 4471592, my account number, we have our 2 jobs on 2 different nodes here. So this one is running something. Okay, now let's go ahead and close. Yep. And then we're going to log back in. And now since TMUX is running, we have to go back, make sure that we're on that node, red 1. Okay. And then let's do TMUX ls. All right, so we can see that that's still running. We're not in TMUX right now, right? We have TMUX set up and it's running on that node with that job, but we aren't in it. We're still on that head node here. So let's go ahead and look at our jobs. So we can run SQ from here with my number. We can see that that's running. Okay, so we have our session. Let's try to go to our session once. Maybe we'll have to try this a different way. Srun TMUX, and then we can attach -t, and then test session. Okay, we're on that head node again. So it looks like our job had died. Let's try doing SRun to see if it's still pending or holding our stuff. Nope, nothing there. Okay, this is okay. So let's do allocate cores. We'll do 2 cores. We'll do the partition of red, and we'll call the job test job again. Okay. And then we'll do srun, py, and then bash. So even if we can't close it necessarily, what we can do is you're not going to be able to see the keys. But for example, if we do Control B, so I just press Control and B at the exact same time, and then D for detach. Now we're back on that head node. Let's go ahead and look at what we have for our jobs. So we can see this job is still running here. Let's go ahead and jump back into TMUX. Let's actually close our terminal. So let's say we have a job running. We're trying to zip up a ton of different files here. This particular node, we run TMUX, we jump into a job, and then we do Control B, and then D to detach from that TMUX session, and then get back into our head node. Let's go ahead and close this and say we're going to go home for the day while that's still running in the background. We come back the next day, we start up our terminal, let's log in, make sure my password is right. We're on red 1. Okay, so then we can go ahead and just look at our jobs. Ooh, okay, our job is still running. That's awesome. Let's attach to that session. Okay, now our session is still here. We can pick up where we were yesterday. Say instead of setting up a SLURM script to run through and do a bunch of different DNA alignments or RNA alignments to a genome, we can come in and do it interactively, just like this. If we run SALLOC and then -C for 2, we get 2 cores for this particular job, which we can see up here. And we start our alignment. Okay, the end of the day is coming, it's not done. We can do inside of our TMUX session, we can do Control B, and then detach. That job is still going to be running on that node. We can close our session. Let's go ahead and terminate. All right, we're going home, closing our computer for the day. Come back tomorrow. We jump in here. All right, SSH back into the same head nodes. We can see our TMUX sessions. All right. Let's attach that. All right, we can still jump in and make sure our alignment is working, or we can go on to the next part. We can do QC from our alignment or something like that. But essentially, that's kind of what I wanted to show. The 2 main commands that we're interested in for using TMUX are going to be starting our job, or starting our TMUX session. So begin a TMUX session. We're going to do TMUX new -s and then give it a name. So new session. All right, cool. In order to get out of a session, so get out of our running session, we do Control +B, okay? And then it puts TMUX into like a listening sort of mode. You won't be able to type anything in your terminal. The first letter you hit will probably tell TMUX to do something, and then all the other letters will work. But if you do Control B and then D, that's going to have us detach, and that'll dump us back to where the TMUX session was created. All right, then let's say we want to get back to our TMUX session. We do that with TMUX attach. So we're telling TMUX we want to attach -T and then the session name. So new session. What if we want to list the different TMUX sessions that we have? List TMUX sessions. We can do that with TMUX and then ls. So remember, when we're looking for the different files that we have in the current directory that we're working with in the Linux terminal, we can type ls. So it's going to list all of the different files. In order to get the TMUX sessions that we have running on that particular node, we can do TMUX ls. And that's how we can get all the different, let's go back, TMUX ls. That's how we can get the name of the session that we have running here. So these are really the commands that are important for the sake that we need them. There's a lot of other stuff that you can do with TMUX, but these are the big ones. And I thought that it was really important to share that, because doing a lot of interactive work with different or studio or jobs, that sort of thing, instead of launching a SLURM job, can do this and get your TMUX session started, get into a job, start running things, and then back out of it with that control B and then D, can start a new job. So say at noon you wanted to start working on something different, you go ahead and do that without canceling what you had started in the beginning. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you have questions, go ahead and ask them down below, but we'll see you later.